Hello and welcome to the 46th episode of Rambling Weekly, and for this episode we're going to talk about drones and the absolute nightmarishness that they are, and not even in the sense of war drones, but think advertisement late at night. Yeah, so we're going to get into that and talk about that a bit, so enjoy the music and I'll catch you on the other side. Welcome back, and that tune is called Fellow Soldier, and it is the original tune for Vestaria Saga 1, War of the Scions, brainchild of the creator of Fire Emblem there, good old Kaga. This was composed by Saito Hiroto, and honestly, I'm not that familiar with him. He has composed on games like Schwarzschild, Power Dolls, Technictics. He's also done Berwick Saga, as well as Folklore. I can't say that, I know too much about him, but I like the soundtrack for Vestaria Saga 1, even though I've really not played too much of it. I don't know why. I just really haven't gotten into it too much. I do appreciate the look of it and all that sort of fun jazz, as well as the dedication and drive by Kaga himself to really keep on going with things. I mean, to make Tearing Saga and Berwick Saga, especially with Tearing Saga, and basically thumbing his nose at Nintendo in a way to be like, I'm still making this. Oh, you're suing me? Well, I'm going to win in court. Have fun. Thanks. Bye. If I remember correctly with that one, he also brought along the character portrait artist from Thracia to work on Tearing. I don't know. I don't know who that is off the top of my head, but I think she may have done some stuff with Vestaria Saga as well. I'm not 100% certain. Good on him for making a game, and not only making the game, but also putting it up on Steam. There's a second one. Still haven't touched that one either. So maybe in due time. Anyways, how y'all doing? Are you doing good? Having fun? Enjoying the early parts of December? I'm doing all right. I've been pretty consistent with work, which I can't complain about. That's always good. Working and getting paid, so I can pay my bills and have a roof over my head. Those are really important things. You may have seen I've had it uploaded for a while. I just kept on delaying the scheduled release date, but put out a little review for a Vast Future indie game, and then I've finished it, and I got a review uploaded, probably maybe come out next week or the week after or something, for This Way Madness Lies. So getting back into doing little reviews of games and stuff. I don't know. I think part of it's me seeing the absolute, how do I want to put this? Psychotic. It floors me that I see things like, here's a 4-hour review on a game, here's a 4-hour retrospective, gyrospective, like, it's just, I don't know, it feels like it could be pared down. I mean, I know, like, even when, like, Sushi and I have done reviews for games and stuff, it can get a little bit longer, pushed towards an hour, but it's two people, but it's also two people talking about something. So part of that's not always about the game, and sometimes it kind of tangents into other things. I get that, but I don't know. I have a really hard time having really, I guess this is my rebellion against that sort of thing, because I'm such a rebellious kid, right? It is like I cannot stomach the excessively long things, so I go the other route. It's like, let's make little piecemeal things, because for me, I want to respect other people's time, even if said person doesn't want to respect their own time. I think giving them the option to, or not even just option, but giving somebody the avenue for them to be able to sidestep going about their day, doing their thing. And there was that study that people try to link like depression with binge watching stuff, and I think it's sort of in that vein. It's like, why give more opportunity, more chances, more struggles? Because it's not even like there is a strength and will that to be like, no, I'm not doing that. But if you're being bombarded all the time, eventually the defenses slip, and you're just like, and then you just kind of, there's the potentiality of falling into the cycle of spinning your wheels in the muck and mire. And why allow that? I think that's also why, like, when I came back to start doing these rambling weekly episodes again and stuff, is that I've made sure to try to pare it down to where it's not like, I remember when I was first recording those, it was kind of exciting to be like, yeah, it's an hour and a half, it's an hour and 45 minutes. Like with somebody else going back and forth over a topic or something, yeah, totally legit to go for like 3 hours, like talking with my brother about the Byzantine Empire. That's a big, hefty subject. That's a lot of stuff. Couple hundreds and hundreds of years, and if you want to get technical, it's millennia of years, with it being the back end of the Roman Empire, if you want to go that route. So that's a lot to try to condense in a little bit, and of course it's not always going to be the case. You're not going to get everything and whatnot, but but I think, when I was doing that initially, that's what I was like, this is nice. But when it came back to doing it, part of it's also because I have to edit these things, because I want to strangle myself half the time with things that I like, language tics and all that sort of stuff, where I'm like, no, stop saying it this way, and I never do. I still say it. I can guarantee, because Sushi does the editing for our Power On stuff. There's probably some new and exciting tics that I've learned that he's like, please stop doing this. Why do you keep doing this? Maybe not so much. It might be a little different because it's a conversational thing. When you're by yourself, it feels like when you're talking to people, there might be more of a struggle, more of a push. Of course, the impetus is more on me to say things and whatnot, but I'm not quite gifted when it comes to trying to dance on my feet, and just not my thing. Especially when I'm just sort of by myself, drawing out enough rope to hang myself with. But yeah, hopefully everything's been going good for you for this week and whatnot. Outside of work, what have I been doing? The new Wave 3 for Mario Kart 8 came out, so I downloaded that and played a little bit of it yesterday. I like the little change they did to Peach Gardens, similar to, was it like Calamari Desert or whatever from Mario Kart 64, where the last lap is different from the other two? Well, I think even the second lap. Peach Gardens, they made the last lap go in reverse, which that was pretty neat. Thought it was pretty cool. That, and also the Christmas theme course was nice. I don't really see anybody talking about it and everything. I think it's one of those things that it's just, there's nothing too, like, when, like the Ninja House stage, which is like people were gaga for. I think since the I don't want to say veneer, but we'll go with veneer. The veneer of newness has very quickly gone away. It's just okay, partially that, and they don't really do a good job, I think, of advertising, hey, there's a new wave. It's a very weak point when it comes to games in the last handful of years, is doing all this wave DLC nonsense. It's just like, why don't you just have the game? Just make the game and then go with it, instead of, we're going to make these waves so we really don't have to make a new game. Honestly, to be fair to Mario Kart, it kind of works because it's Mario Kart, but I don't know. There's there's good and bad to that sort of thing, right? You see, I'd seen this when I was reading like the reviews for Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge and whatnot about, ho hum, it's the same thing. We've had to deal with this, and even the earlier 2 iterations was more than plenty. Why are we getting another one? Some of the reviews on that, and it's like, well, because they wanted to. Whatever. People having fun with it? Okay, have fun with it. Let's see, what else has been going on? Played a little bit of that. I've slowly tried to get back into Live a Live since I've had that, and I played it all of like 20 minutes. Decided to choose the Sundown Kid, or Sundowner Kid, or whatever. The Western story, because I initially picked the prehistoric one, and then it's like 98% no dialogue. I was like, this might not have been the best choice, so I switched it up. It's like, I like westerns, let's go with western themed stuff. Played a little bit of that and was enjoying that. Anything else really going on? Let me double check here. Honestly, not really. Yeah, not really. Not too much else going on. So, did a little bit more Ninja Gaiden Sigma, but even that was pretty paltry since I last mentioned it. So, yeah, that's really about it. I think that is really about it. I don't really have too much else to offer at this segment. So, we're going to take a break and then get into the topic at hand. So, stick around. That there is Ambition and Avarice, and it is the piano version. And I don't know if I mentioned it in the previous segment, but the soundtrack that I have is it doesn't have all the music, but it has, and it doesn't even have all of, there's 3 different types. There's the piano version, which you just heard of Ambition and Avarice. There's piano version, an 8-bit version, and the original version. Most of the soundtrack that I've got is 8-bit stuff, but there's about 6-7 themes that are piano version, and 6 or 7 of them that's the original version kind of thing. So I tried to pick and choose from each of those. So it's a good soundtrack. Like I said, I really enjoy it. Maybe not quite as melodically ensnaring as some previous Fire Emblem works, but it's still good. It's good. It's serviceable, and yeah, the end. Speaking about the end, topic for today. Good old Hellish Nightscape, and I mean that in every sense of the word. I saw this, when was this? Back the beginning of November, I saw this. I have this article up here, and I nearly flipped my lid, because I don't know why, and I've also got a couple articles. One here, we'll mention this one first, and it is from futurism.com, and the title is Pepsi plans to project a giant ad in the night sky using CubeSats. Now, I am one of them great enjoyers of the night sky, with seeing the wonderful different constellations here and there as they dance across the wonderful canvas that is the night. And in certain dark places you can catch the wisps of the Milky Way and everything. It's nice. And I remember for a very long time seeing astronomers worry about light pollution and all this sort of these issues, for nowadays to have companies talk about how they want to project giant ads in the night sky like it's some cyberpunk dystopian future that, I mean, we are already living in to some degree, but I don't... Does anybody even look at like... Last time I checked, when it came to the billboards and stuff, when you're driving, you just sort of see it. And unless it's like something completely bananas or like ridiculous, like unless I'm seeing some sort of like lizard people future thing being promoted on there, most of the time it's just like, call Bob Stellerman, he's your State Farm agent, and all this sort of stuff. Or, call Susie, no, Steinbeck. Says she'll get you set up. Oh boy. And like, billboards are why like, and to then think, oh yes, there is this is the wonderful what should we call it, the advertisers who are like, yes, we must have these. Oh my dear gracious, Mr. Sushi B, you are messaging me right now during this recording. Please stop. Jokes aside, I don't know if that could be heard, but there's like a few. Oh my dear heavens! But I can hear it. I need to mute this. How can I mute this? Oh well, whatever. Anyways, I honestly don't know if you can hear it. It probably sounds like some madman ramblings at this point. But anyways, the absolute chutzpah, whatever the word is, the gall of people to go, yes, all that space up there, totally appropriate to just show some sort of advert. Like, how just bonkers is that? Like, to me, that's insane. It's like, ads are everywhere, and not only are they everywhere, but they're a bit intrusive, and I don't find it very appreciative that companies and people think it is appropriate to be like, yes, let's plop this up in the night sky. You don't need the night sky. Yeah, you live in the city. Eventually, after so long, the planet will be one big city. Ha 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 ha. Let's hope that that's not the case. Because quite frankly, that just no. No. We need a bit of we need to keep the biodome, at least some sort of diversity to it. Otherwise, not going to be an enjoyable time. But yeah, it's just like really, really intrusive. Like Pepsi says it'll use an artificial constellation hung in the night sky next to the stars to promote an energy drink. Does Pepsi really need to do that? Does Pepsi really need to be like, hey, we have, let's see if it gives we have this new drink, Adrenaline Rush. Let's throw it up into the night sky. Make it like some sort of freaking Star Ocean special skill attack. And just blare it up into the night sky and call it Adrenaline Rush. Why? Please stop. Please stop. Like, first reported on Start Rocket, which is the company that would do this sort of thing, back in January, when the company announced plans to project huge ads into the night sky using CubeSats with Mylar sails that'll reflect sunlight back down to Earth during the twilight of early morning or evening. We are ruled by brands and events, project leader Vlad Sitnikov told Futurism at the time. The Super Bowl, Coca-Cola, Brexit, the Olympics, Mercedes, FIFA, Supreme, and the Mexican, what? The economy is the blood system of society. Entertainment and advertisement are at its heart. What kind of mindset? Like, yeah, it's intrusive. That would be like me going to, I don't know, just like some sort of national park through the woods, and then all of a sudden there's this projection of what looks to be just a couple, like a cluster of trees morphs into an ad, and it's like, hey, don't forget to buy, I don't know, what's the toilet paper with the bears and stuff, Cottonelle, I don't know, but whatever that to buy this toilet paper, or you get specific ones because you have your phone all the time, and then it harvests the data from that, and it sees that you do a lot of, like, you buy a lot of McDonald's off the like McDonald's pickup app or whatever, so it's like it morphs and melds into some sort of McDonald's ad in the middle of the woods. These people need to go away. Like, those sorts of ideas and concepts need to go away. Like, I cannot imagine not being able to just get away from everything and then all of a sudden be blasted with this. Like, the aforementioned article that made me want to talk about this was in Business Insider at the beginning of November, and it's the title is "A 500 drone fleet lit up a Candy Crush ad over New York City. Night sky ads drive a wedge between humans and nature, astronomers say." You don't say. Due to light pollution, experts say that 1/3 of human beings on planet Earth can no longer see the Milky Way. How is it that we've decided to close ourselves off, to blind ourselves so much from that which we are a part of, even if it is on some cosmically infinitesimal scale? It is a very disheartening thing to be so separated from nature, and because I mean, yeah, like, certainly it's so many light years away. It's something that you just won't be able to really get to and whatnot, but that does not mean that we are not a part of it, But instead, we get a 500 drone fleet over lower Manhattan advertising the 10th anniversary of freaking Candy Crush. Candy Crush. Really? Like, yeah, it didn't contribute significantly to light pollution in New York. Whoop-de-da. Wow. There was a similar performance in New York to advertise the NBA draft, as if people don't realize that the NBA has a draft. Like, what is this disconnect? Like, super duper already well-known companies need to put it in your face even further to be like, hey, why don't you watch this? Why don't you watch this? Watch. Be a part of this. Bleh. You can't have these other things. I mean, I get it. The city, like New York City, already pollutes enough with its light that be in any big city and you may be lucky to catch a couple stars here and there. It's just disgusting. It's just, I to have this sort of thing. Here we go. And I quote, these sorts of things should be stopped by laws if the reason is lacking, as it seems before it is too late. Fabio Falci, a researcher at the Light Pollution Science and Technology Institute, has studied light pollution for more than 20 years, told Insider, quote unquote. Now, for the advantage of a corporation, the real stars will be replaced by these ultra bright light drones. Oh boy. In the big scheme of things, it's of little consequence to the very many poor quality outdoor lights that are on all night long in many U.S. cities. John Barentine, an astronomer and consultant at Dark Sky Consulting, told Insider, if it became a nightly event, or if there were many such displays happening at once, I would be more nervous about it. Hey, goofball, this is going to be this is just setting it up. When you allow this and then you continue to allow this, much like this Fabio Falci guy over here, it was mentioning, it's like, yeah, you should probably put something in place to stop this from really being a thing. It's New York and it's super light polluted anyways, and it's not like it's happening every day, blah 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 blah. It's just it bothers me. It bothers me because it's like they make such an effort to with lights on all the time. It's like, ooh, the night, it's dark and spooky and scary. Ooh, just turn off the lights for a little bit. Just turn them off. Just be quiet. Be quiet for a little bit. Can we have that? Is that not allowed anymore? Nope, we gotta have lights on all the time. If we don't have the lights on, bad things will happen. And bad things certainly happen. In the span of 25 years, light pollution has increased by at least 49%. From 1992 to 2017, 25 years, it has gone up nearly 50%. It is, halfway there to doubling what it once was. It's just... from being concerned about having those glasses that reflect blue lights so people who get to sleep and whatnot, and people who really don't go outside to get sunlight for whatever reason. Maybe they work third shift, I don't know. This is doing so much harm. And then all of a sudden it'll be like, hey, let's start throwing ads up. Here's some Candy Crush. You've never heard of Candy Crush? Wait, it's the 10th anniversary of Candy Crush. Whoop-de-da. Let's throw up a giant heart of drones in the sky, like some sort of psychotic cyberpunk hellscape that we just shuffle into. It disgusts me. It really does. I don't know who is like, yes, this is okay. I am okay with this. I just, no. Step away from it, please. I don't know. I just figured I'd bring it up because, quite honestly, that article popped up and I didn't really see too many other people kind of mention it. And I felt that it needed to be mentioned about how it really needs to stop. It is time to stop with these advertisements, particularly when it's like, do we really need something to light up the sky to say, hey, the NBA draft is going on? Really? A, it's the draft. Who cares? B, outside of the people who are participating in it, okay, have fun with that, It's your time to celebrate. Go ahead. No, it's the same thing with the NFL draft. The NFL draft's 4 days long or something. They turn it into this procession of pomp and circumstance, and it's like, no, just no. It is weird to have the pageantry of celebration for these people who have worked hard to get to that point, when it does a disservice to them, but it's also just a bad mentality to have, because we do this all the time where it's like, well, once we get to this point, everything's smooth sailing, and it's like, no, you just stepped into the next club. Welcome to the club, well, welcome to being an adult in the club. And it doesn't get any easier, it doesn't get any worse per se. It's just it's a new set of challenges, and instead of tackling that, it's like, oh yep, nope, done and done. And it's like, no, stop. Like, it's just no. But yeah, I figured I wanted to bring that up and rant about how awful that sort of thing is, and how absolutely needless it is, and then to be so blasé about it in the sense of, well, it's New York City, it's already light pollution. Well, no, what it means is that it gives them they don't care about it, so when there's enough light pollution, it's appropriate. It's all right. It's not making it any worse. That's like being a diabetic or something, and like having something that's got, or maybe not diabetic, but being like super overweight and not even trying to make an effort to lose weight or something, and be like, well, I'm gonna have all this extra stuff because it's not gonna make it any worse. What a bad mentality to have. Awful, just awful. So yeah, okay. I'm going to cut it there and take a little break, and then we'll be back with the quote, so stick around. Welcome back. That tune there is Tender Days, the 8-bit version, and it's nice and soothing and calm. Anyways, the quote for this episode is another short one, and it is from Claude Monet, and that is, "The richness I achieve comes from nature, the source of my inspiration." And I think there's, at least for myself, something I always kind of pivot back to, of nature and being really important in certain ways. It helps in a grounding way, and to see it be carved up and more taken away due to just kind of how spread out people get, how like it's not even just like the nature aspect, but also this sense of like exploration and the unknown. And there's a bit of a death in the human spirit when it's just like, it's already been explored. I think that's why, at least to some degree, like things like Antarctica still has this needling of interest, or at least for a long time there was the interest of trying to explore the stars, but then it feels like we don't have the proper big boy pants to wear to head up into space permanently, and so we just sort of navel gaze and sink within ourselves and just kind of become smaller and smaller because of it. Unfortunately, I think nature's a great way to, sure, in a way it could possibly make you feel smaller, but I think it's a way to pivot and also make yourself feel bigger in the sense of being a part of a bigger scope of things in that regard. And I think that people would be better to do that than to just kind of shrink further and further into oneself. So anyways, that's what I got. The outro theme here is Chronicle. It's the original version, and yeah, I think it's a good starting tune that I decided to put at the end of this episode because I don't know any better. Anyways, enjoy your day, night, weekend, weekday, everything in between. Thanks for listening, and catch you next week. Bye.